Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy drugstore December to you. If you've not heard, every video coming out this entire month is drugstore themed. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are drugstore December. Tuesdays and Thursdays are Dupe December. So if you'd like to be notified of 5 videos a week, all drugstore themed all month long, please subscribe. And thank you in advance if you do. Today I'm sharing the best drugstore makeup that I discovered over this past year. Now, there were so many products initially when I put this list together that I ended up breaking them apart and presenting them to you in different ways. So a number of my best favorites have already been shown in videos prior to this one, and they were in my most used drugstore makeup, where I did a whole tutorial on that, the top 10 eyeshadow palettes under $10, top 10 dupes of 2019, best drugstore skincare products. If you happen to miss any of those favorites videos that have published already, I will have them listed and linked for you below. So this is a listing that will not include the products that were featured in those videos because I don't want to keep repeating the same ones over and over again. But there are a lot of really excellent finds here that I'm really excited to share with you. First must-have favorite I have to share with you, loved this one in 2019, was the CoverGirl Outlast Active Foundation. This was one that I tested as part of a workout vlog earlier in 2019. I took it to a spin class with me and I sweat my little butt off everywhere that day. It was crazy, and I was simply blown away that the makeup did not move from my face, my forehead. Everything remained intact. And I know there were some people who were saying, why would you wear makeup to the gym? I don't. Usually when I work out, I am barefaced, trust that. But when I'm testing out a foundation that promises results like the CoverGirl Outlast Active Foundation did, I'll take it to a spin class, because trust me, if it can last through that, it can last through Florida heat, humidity, hurricanes, sweating, everything. And it did. And I feel like it's one of the best tests to put a foundation through. So if you're looking for a new one to try and you have an oily complexion that nothing stays on, this is a really, really good one at a very affordable price. Another favorite of mine that I discovered through you, actually, there were a lot of people who were asking me to do a full review this past year on the Shop Miss A products. So I went on their website. I put a lot of stuff in the cart because everything is about $1, so very affordable way to try new makeup. And one of the products that I ended up loving to death was their Wonderbaked eyeshadow. Now this one is in the shade Regal. It's the most beautiful purple. I did not expect this one to be that pigmented, and the first time I used it, I was amazed at how extreme the color payoff was. And the color itself is one of the most beautiful purples that I own. It's not a red-based purple. It's not a cool-based purple, really. I mean, it kind of could be, but it's more middle neutral, and I feel like it's one of those shades that will flatter every single person. And this became one of those purple eyeshadows that I was using consistently this past year. I love it. The next product I have to share with you is one that I was initially extremely disappointed by, and it did not get a favorable review by yours truly until a lot of you told me to go back and retest it with a different primer underneath. And so I did that, and that was for the Blvd foundation. You may remember that Dollar General came out with an entire brand new line of makeup called Blvd this past year, and the foundation was one of the most disappointing products for me out of that line. And I think it was because I tested it out with the Blvd primer and setting spray, which, by the way, are not that great. But the second that I took the Blvd foundation and I used it with a trusted primer, I believe it was the Bare Minerals one for reference, I absolutely loved it, and it performed beautifully. And I think what disappointed me the most about it was that I really liked the initial results and how it looked on the skin. It was really easy to work with. It just didn't last that long. But again, once I paired it up with the right primer, I ended up really loving it, and it became one of those foundations I was using consistently this past year. So keep that in mind if you have an oily complexion. Primer is key with that one. Another one that I absolutely love is the e.l.f. Cream Blush Palette. There are 4 shades in here. Beautiful collection of colors. The consistency with these cream blushes is Really nice, very easy to work with, easy to blend in. They look very natural on the skin and they give you a luminous glow. It doesn't look fake, if that makes sense. It gives you a flushed skin kind of glow, and I absolutely love this little palette. Cannot recommend it to you enough. Another one that I really ended up liking a lot more than I thought I would was the Maybelline Master Chrome Jelly Highlighter. I bought this one specifically to recreate a look that Gigi Hadid was wearing to the VMAs this past year, and I ended up really liking the highlighter all by itself on other occasions too. It has a jelly-like consistency to it, and I found that if I took a little bit on a stippling brush and applied it to the tops of the cheeks, it blended real nicely that way. And this did become one that I found myself picking up on my personal time much more than I thought I would. So 2 thumbs up for that one. Another one that was great, this is another foundation, the Soap and Glory Kick Butt Foundation. No, I'm not going to say the real name of it. I just won't do it. Sorry. But this foundation is one of those that goes for 16, 20 hours. It's fabulous stuff. Heat, humidity, sweat, nothing breaks through this foundation. I emptied my bottle completely. It's gone. I have to replace it. It's great stuff. The brand JOAH came out with a whole new line of their Colorsquad lipsticks this past year. Beautiful shade range to choose from. Very creamy, rich, moisturizing consistency with these. And the shade that I ended up getting drawn to and wearing a lot was, yes, it's a beautiful pinky nude. I know you're not surprised, but I absolutely love this color. The consistency was the other factor that sold me on these lipsticks. Now they are very soft, so they're not ones that I would say you can stick in your purse, and I would probably avoid that because they break very easily. And trust me when I say that I don't keep my lipsticks in heat, but these were incredibly soft. So even if you wanted to keep them in the refrigerator, I feel like that's a really great idea for these too. Just be aware you have to be a little bit more gentle with those lipsticks. The LA Girl Blush and Highlight Palettes. Absolutely love these. The pigmentation was on point with these. Didn't struggle with the application. They were, again, some of those palettes that I kept picking up over and over and over this past year and using them quite often. All right, let's see what's next on the list here. Ulta Beauty came out with these velvet matte lip crayons. Oh my goodness. If you're looking for a product like this, you would fall head over heels in love with these. Very creamy, smooth, rich texture. Lasting power is incredible. This is one I want them to make more colors of because it's one of those products, if you were to scratch off the Ulta name on the pencil or put it in unmarked packaging and hand it to someone, they would tell you that that was a $20 lip pencil because the quality is that good. So it just goes to show you don't have to spend a lot to get something really nice. And if you tried those, you'd see what I mean. They're really, utterly fabulous. Physicians Formula Rose All Day Petal Glow. This is a blush and a highlighter in one. And when you open it, you have a rose scent with it too. It's quite lovely, both in scent, pigment, application, the results. Everything about this product is simply beautiful. And I really enjoyed discovering this one and using it, and it's one that I would highly recommend you try if you're looking for a blush and a highlighter kind of product in one. Another really great product that came out in 2019, late 2019 I might say also, is the LA Girl Born Exclusive palette. Massive shade range to choose from in this eyeshadow palette. Great consistency in the eyeshadows, great color payoff, beautiful packaging. One of the best that I've seen from the drugstore in 2019. And you can create so many looks with this palette. The combinations are endless. It's one that I really enjoyed having and using consistently since I discovered it. And I want to say it came out in October or November, but it was towards the latter part of this year. Wet n Wild. We cannot make a favorites video without talking about Wet n Wild because I love them and the products are quality. One of the products they sold me on that they were consistently coming out with that were great time and time again were their loose highlighting powders. Not exaggerating when I tell you that the smallest amount goes a long way with these products in particular. I mean, if you want to have blazing highlight on your cheeks, that's cool too, and you'll get it with these loose highlighting powders, but these are ones where the tiniest amount will give you a very subtle glow on the skin, and it's one of those where you get so much for your money. I mean, I could never see myself going through an entire jar of just one of the highlighting powders. So if you are using highlighter consistently all the time, every day, it's a great, great buy. Speaking of Wet n Wild, another favorite from 2019 was their 32 pan eyeshadow palette. Great compact palette with a mixture of neutrals and colors in the same great formula that we've come to expect from Wet n Wild. So it was really nice to see that they didn't take a departure from their existing eyeshadow palettes when it came to creating this one. What I will tell you about this palette is that if you already own a lot of their 10 pan palettes, then I don't feel like this one is worth getting because there are a lot of repeats in here from those palettes and you would just be duplicating ones you already have. But if you don't own a lot of their 10 pan palettes already, then I do feel like this is an excellent palette to try and it will give you a great range to choose from. Catrice Cosmetics Nude Illusion Powder. This was a powder that I found myself using a lot this past year because it sets the face so well, especially if you're oily, and it keeps everything intact. Nothing moves around after you use this powder. It's one of the best that I discovered in 2019. I talked about other powders in my other favorite videos. So again, I'm not going to reiterate those because I don't want to get redundant on you here, but that's another really good one to try. All right, let's see where we are on the list. The LA Girl Volumatic Tubing Mascaras. They came out with 5 different ones, I want to say. Brown, black, and then they had a few colors to choose from too. And these were very pigmented. Usually when it comes to colored mascaras, I struggled to get them onto my lashes, but that was not the case with these. And they are tubing mascaras, which, if you're not familiar with what a tubing mascara is, it acts like a glove would on your hand. So instead of ripping out your lashes when you take the mascara off, it's like taking a glove off of your hand, because when the mascara goes on, it just slides right over your lash hairs and then it slides right off. So there's no damage to your lashes, and that's what makes tubing mascaras so attractive. And when I used those this past year, it was a wonderful experience from start to finish. They're very pigmented. They do wonderful things for your lashes and they're very easy to remove. So 2 thumbs up all the way around. Another product that I discovered this past year, it's not new by any means, but I discovered it in 2019, was the NYX Matte Bronzer. And this is the shade Light. Love this bronzer. It is matte in consistency, which is rather hard to find in the drugstore when we're talking about things you can use for contour. So I really appreciated that aspect of this product, and it's very smooth, easy to blend in, very easy to work with. Just an all-around love from me. And that is it. I'm also working on a video today that will be coming out next week on makeup that I hit pan on in 2019. So look for that one next week. Let me know your favorites that you discovered in 2019. And if you're interested in referencing this video in the future, I'll have all of these listed for you below. I will try to have them linked also. They will be affiliate links. So if you click through, I'd like to say thank you in advance for helping to support this channel and our family. Want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another video in Drugstore December.